Hi, this is Andrew Collier from ColyerMusic.com, and today is another MainStage tutorial. This one's going to be this is going to be about setting up your patch library with some of your splits and your layering and those kinds of things. So today we're working in MainStage 3. Let's move this recording out of the way. So right now it's June of 2018, and I'm working on programming with the progressive metal band Awaken. I have my own band Circuline, which is a modern rock band. I'm also with the band Cell 15, and we just performed at the Rites of Spring Festival 2018, the Roz Fest. That was an awesome festival. And now I'm preparing for my Awaken. Some of our live shows we're opening up for Yngwie Malmsteen later this summer. So I'm just doing this for a buddy of mine who needs some help, and also for any of you out there who might need some help too. So this next song, so as you can see over here in the left side column, here's some of my custom patches. I've already built my patch library. I've got some other videos that you can see for this. Here's some of my custom patches. Actually, a bunch of these are custom patches, but the ones that I'll specifically remember, they're up here. Okay, here's some of these are my Awaken patches. Here's some of my badass organ patches. Here's some of the way I've done the string patches. Alright, this Chord Kronos patches. This is if you use an external instrument with MainStage. We're not going to be covering that today. Here's some of my patches from Contact that I'll use specifically for Awaken. I use a different concert for every band or project that I'm with because everyone has different patch sets and different requirements. I'm actually right now working on an album with Frank Wyatt from Happy the Man. Many of you know him from the Happy the Man days in the 70s, 80s, 90s, the early 2000s. He's also got a band with his partner Stanley Whitaker called Oblivion Sun, and drummer Bill Brasso was on that along with some other people. Bass player Dave. Sorry Dave, I can't remember your last name right now. Frank and Stan also had a band called Pedal Giant Animals. Frank's working on an album called Frank White and Friends, and I'm lucky enough to be playing on that record. So I've got a different concert that you'll see if I use that for a tutorial. So anyway, here's MainStage patches. These are all the patches that are native MainStage that I've got lined up in my library here. Here's all my Omnisphere patches. Some of these are custom ones that I've designed for myself and saved, but I saved them here in my Omnisphere setting, my Omnisphere patch group. Here's Rolly for my Rolly Seaboard. And here's SynthMaster, an awesome synthesizer. I think everybody should check out SynthMaster. Let's see. So then see here I have this. So the top half of this left-hand column is all of my patch library listing. Now when I'm finished programming the entire concert, I will go back through all these patches, and any of them that I did not use for this concert, I will delete. But right now, this is a massive library that I'm using, and I don't remember everything that I used on the Awaken. This Awaken album is a double album. It's 90 minutes of music, and until I go back through all the tracks to see what I have to program to play live, I just can't remember all that. So I'll do that in real time when I'm finished with the show programming. So here I put these are all those things that I do. You may not want to do this, but I just do it because it makes sense to me. This is a set. So you notice, remember, in MainStage, a patch is the individual patch here, and a set is what MainStage calls this folder here. And then the entire thing MainStage calls a concert. For some people, that's a little confusing, but that's the language that they use. So this folder, they call a set. I put this in here, and I call it Separate Patches from Songs, because the top half of the list is the patches that I'm going to use. And then for me, the songs are down here on the bottom half, how I'm going to step through for my programming. So here's from this song, Black from Blue. And this is not in any order right now because I'm just starting to do the programming. So I've got to get an intro sample that's going to start off the song, and I used a placeholder for that. So if you notice over here in the left-hand column where my mouse is circling, notice I have initials for this song, and then I do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. And I do that because sometimes if you're working on a patch and you accidentally click something and you can actually click it and drag it around, if you don't have it numbered like this, you could accidentally do it, never know it, and you're stepping through your patches, and you're like, holy crap, what happened? So this is why I always have number 1, number 2, number 3, and I label it also for the song sections. So here's the intro, and I put notes to myself, unison. I'm playing that unison. I guess maybe my hands are unison, the guitar is unison. I don't remember. I started this one a couple months ago, and I'm just not coming back to it. So here's intro, verse 1, verse 2, and you can see all the layers that I'm playing in here. And a lot of what these layers are for Awaken is I was brought into this project to be the orchestra. They wanted a really symphonic sound, and so mostly what I'm playing in this with Awaken is I'm the orchestra, I am piano, I am badass Deep Purple B3 organ, and I am synthesizer. And that's pretty much it. But to get the big, huge orchestra sound that we want, I wound up layering 3 different patches. So you'll see a lot of stacks. Anyway, I get my organ sound by doing layering. Anyway, so this is, I'm stepping through the patches from black from blue, and there's the end of that song. So now I'm just starting the next song that I'm working on. It's called Moment of Truth. So as you see here, I've started setting up a patch, and that is, right now I'm going to do Command S for save. Command S saves, because as I've showed you before, when this little red dot up here starts to have a little black dot in the middle of it, where it looks like a little target, then that means you've made a change. You need to make sure you save the change, because MainStage does not automatically save changes that you make. So let's get into doing some programming now. So Moment of Truth, here's the first patch I've already done. That's what I'm going to be playing. Intro, verse 1, verse 2. Left hand's going to be playing the string section on my Korg Kronos X 61 note keyboard, and then my right hand is going to be playing the Steinway grand piano, and that's why I have 88 keys here, and I only have 61 keys up here. And to do something like that, you go to the layout button, and you've got to do all kinds of setups in your layout, which we are not getting into today. That'll be the subject of another video. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so the next thing I need to do, the next one thing, is I'm going to go up here, and I can either press the plus button, or I can click the cog and see where it reads New Patch. I'm going to click New Patch, and then it inserts the patch right there. And I could have done the same thing by pressing this plus button. See, it did the same thing down here. I'll just leave that. So I'm going to click on this to highlight it blue, and then you can either hit the return key or click on it again so that you can actually edit the text there. So I'm going to do Moment of Truth, dash number 2, and this is going to be the pre-chorus 1 into chorus 1. For me, if I have to do more than one thing, sometimes I'll do like I have intro, comma, verse 1, comma, verse 2. Sometimes I'll use the little arrow button, that looks like the greater than sign. Depends upon what mood you're in or whatever you want to do there. So now notice over here in the channel strip area, I don't have anything yet because I only inserted a patch. I did not insert a patch with a channel strip. And no particular reason. The only reason I did that is, number 1, I'm demonstrating to you, and number 2 is that all my channel strips, now that I have my patch library set up in the upper half of this patch list column on the left, everything that's going to go over here on the right, I'm going to be copying, pasting in, so I don't really need a channel strip because I'm going to be getting it from my patches that are up here on the top half. So for pre-chorus and the chorus, and I'm in the studio and I have headphones on. I don't have a monitor set up, so I got to take a second and put my headphones on. And I believe the pre-chorus and chorus I'm playing organ and piano. So let's see. Pre-chorus, there's organ. Fast forward. Okay, so I was wrong. So for the pre-chorus, I'm playing only organ, and I like to play organ on the top keyboard. This Kronos 61 has that organ synth action. So since I'm playing organ for pre-chorus and chorus, I'm going to put the organ on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up here. Now see this badass organ? This is my badass organ that I have custom layered with some of my favorite organ sounds. So what I'm going to do is, that's an alias. Where's my I think it's contact patch. Let's see. And I have named this Eddie organ, because Eddie Jobson is one of my favorite keyboard players in the world, and I've done a bunch of personal tweaking and contact and saved my own organ's patch, and I call it the Eddie organ. No, you can't have it. You have to figure it out for yourself. But I'm going to click. What the point is, once you've got your patch, see how I named this main. Whatever the thing is over here, I name this main. And over here, when you click on the channel strip, see where this is named alias? An alias is where you only have to have one instantiation of a patch from any software instrument. And then when you copy and paste it in anywhere else in the concert, MainStage points back to the original place that you have it. That way, when I used an organ, 40 times a night, I don't have to install 40 instances of this contact organ patch. So the way that you know that it's the original patch is, number one, I will name this main where it is on my patch list. Then when I go over here, first of all, and just see how this is blank. When I name it, panel shape attributes. The reason I will name it alias here is because when I copy and paste it in down below, every time I see this, it will remind me that it is an alias and not the original patch. So I name it main here, but everything here, when you type in alias here, it's going to change the name there. And this is blank. Now when we get to an alias, such as right here, my Eddie organ alias has got a little green arrow. So the little green arrow tells you that is an alias that is pointing somewhere else. Okay? So let's go back to my main organ. And I'm going to click once on the channel strip. I'm going to do Command C to copy it. You could also do copy here. You could do it this way where you do Command C. And then I'm going to scroll down over here on the left to my patch where I need it. And there's nothing over here. And you don't have to click anywhere. As soon as you select that patch, like as soon as you go like that, you click on the patch. You can either do Edit, Paste as Alias. Okay, let's do that one this time. I'll show it. Okay, we're going to click Paste as Alias. So see, there is my alias. There's my Eddie organ with this patch. If I play the organ, you can't hear it, but there it is. Okay, I'm playing. You can see the keys moving, and you can see the BU meters, showing there's level coming out there. Now, before I continue, here's a little thing. I'm just going to hit Command S. Make sure we save that. You should save often and regularly to avoid accidentally losing your work in case you ever have a glitch. Now let's go back up here to, and there, see, this is one of my custom patches. What did I do for that badass organ? Oh, I layered my Eddie one with this heavy metal one from MainStage. So here's my MainStage patches. Here's my heavy metal organ. And by the way, many of you have asked, why do you go to such trouble to color code all of your different patches? Like gold, gold, gold. There's red. There's a green. There's green. There's gold. There's red. There's a different color red. There's those two colors red. Because once you start copying and pasting these things in and you stack them all up, you're gonna wish that they were different colors so you can tell them all apart so they don't look the same. So here's the heavy metal organ in my MainStage patch that I left here in my patch library. Then I go over here to the channel strip, click on it once, and instead of using, and I'm gonna use the hotkeys this time. Okay. So I'm going to click here. So instead of doing copy like that, that's Command C. So I'm going to click here. I'm going to go Command C. So now it's copied. And I'm going to scroll back down here on the left. Here's my Moment of Truth patch. And instead of doing paste as alias, this little squiggly thing is the Option key. Nobody ever tells you that. You have to figure it out for yourself. So it's Option Command V. So right now, this patch is highlighted, and my mouse, I don't even have to do anything with the mouse. I can just go Option Command V, and poof, it's pasted in right there. Now I have a layer. I'm going to do Command S to save it, and boom. There's this big, huge, fat organ sound that you can't really hear because everything's coming out of headphones. I don't have any monitors turned on, but you can see the levels are coming out here. Okay. Now, normally I would have my master up here at 0, but in the studio I have to keep it turned down because it's too much output coming into my board. But when I play live, this master will be up at 0 here. And then I'll have to figure out, actually before I start rehearsals, I will plug this into a PA system here in the studio, and I'll fiddle with my levels to make sure that everything is correct. So here's my double layered, super duper badass B3 Deep Purple organ. Okay, so there's that. Now, I also need some strings, because on the pre-chorus and the chorus, pre-chorus is organ only, but heading into the chorus, my right hand has to be a symphony. So, you know what? I've already shown you how to do this. We're already at 15 minutes. So basically, I will go up here to my strings patch, which has got 3 layers, and I'll do the same thing for these 3 layers, you know, down here, and I'll assign it to the bottom keyboard so that my right hand will play the bottom keyboard and the left hand will play the top keyboard. What I want to do now, since we're already at 16 minutes, I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes, is I want to show you how to do some splits and layers. All right, so let's say, like right now, for the intro, verse 1 or verse 2, where my hands need to be is right now where my hand is playing here on the piano part, where my left hand has to play the string part, it's up here. And now my hands are on top of each other, and that's not really very convenient. That's not ergonomically very efficient. I'd rather have my left hand kind of over here on the top keyboard, towards the lower half, while my right hand is up here on the top half of this keyboard, and it's just easier to play that way. So what I have to do is, you click on the channel strip, there's layer editor, and you go to MIDI input. And see where it says transpose right here? I'm going to take this down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to take that down an octave. And then I'm going to click on the next one. See why you have to have the stuff labeled, these 3, they're different colors and they're labeled with the aliases and whatnot. So see, this one's minus 12. This one was already at plus 12, so I'm going to bring this one down to 0. Okay, and now when I go to this one, this is the 3rd layer I have right here. That's at 0, so I need to make this one minus 12. And let's see if these headphones on and... Alright, so guess what? I just went the wrong direction. So instead of minus 1, I do that sometimes. My hand, when your hand goes down, you have to MIDI transpose up. So, not only do I have to go back up to 0 where this was before, but now I got to go up to 12. Oops, see, you're getting the real time, people. Okay, this one's at 0. It needs to go to plus 12. And then it needs to go up another 12. So this is going to be plus 24. And this one, it's got to go back up to 12. And then it's got to go up another 12. And you could probably click in here and type the number 12, but I just kind of like clicking it. Whoop. Okay, so let's try it now. Yeah. Right, so see here, where I used to have to play an octave above that, now I can play an octave below it. Yeah, and if I wanted to, I could go down another octave, because I could go all the way down to this low D here. And I won't know if I like that until I start actually playing it. I'm saving now. So that I'll experiment with. So let me just, while we're here, I'll just show you one more little bit. Let's say that besides in this intro verse 1, verse 2, let's say that besides the strings and the piano, I needed to play Taurus bass pedals or something else. You know, I needed a 3rd thing. But now with this piano part, I only need to play. Let's say that the lowest note I have to play on this piano part is going to be a middle C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this channel strip right here, which is my Steinway piano. I'm going to go to Layer Editor. Now, I'm playing this middle C with my left hand right now. And then watch this. I'm going to go down here to the low key, and I'm going to click Learn, and I'm going to tap middle C, and poof! Gave me the low key on the split. Now make sure that you uncheck the learn button, because watch, if you accidentally leave it checked and then you play, it's going to keep moving it around all the time, which is a pain. So you have to make sure you hit the key that you want and then click it again so that it's not red. So now that frees up this other part of the keyboard. So let's say that I need, I don't know, do I have any bass, something, whatever. It doesn't really matter because you guys can't hear it anyway. Let's say I'm going to play some analog fat patch. Here, let's use this one because it's a different color. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna click here. This is in my patch library on the left side. I'm gonna do Command S for save. And let's say here's the original patch, because there's no green arrow, meaning it's a main. I haven't labeled this one, but I didn't label this main. However, I did label this an alias, because you can see that here, and that's in the Attributes tab. And that is, you would see that here. See where it reads alias? Okay. And remember, there's a difference between selecting the patch on the left and then these patch inspector, patch library, attributes, tuning, versus when you want to change and type that stuff in there, there's the patch. You have to click on the actual channel strip over here on the right. So when you click on the channel strip, that brings up channel strip library. Attributes, that's where you change colors, change the picture of the keyboard or whatever you want. Layer editor, MIDI input, whatever. So click here. Let's do Command C to copy. And now we're going to scroll down here. And whoops, I need not that one. I need this one. And by the way, another reason it's good to label these like this is because let's say I might have an organ that has to play throughout the whole song, or strings are going to play throughout the whole song, but everything else in the bottom keeps changing. So this is part of the numbering system, as you can see me going back and forth. So now I'm going to do, just to refresh your memory, edit. I'm going to do paste as alias, which will be the same as option. The squiggly thing is option, Command V. Okay, now, there's that. What happened to my, oh, I didn't want to do that there. Oh, so here's what happened. I pasted it in the wrong place. I can either do edit, undo, paste channels as alias, or I can do Command Z, which is undo. Right now I'll use that button because my cursor is already there. Pasted it in the wrong patch. Let's go up to this one, and let's do Option Command V. So there you go. Now, that works, except this other synthesizer is sitting on top of my piano, and that's not going to work. So while this channel strip is selected, I'm going to go to Layer Editor, and we had the Steinway grand piano, we had middle C as the lowest note. So now I'm going to go to high key, and I'm going to click Learn, and I'm just going to tap middle C again, and you'll see now the problem with that is that when I hit middle C, it'll play both of them. So now I'm going to play B below middle C. Now that drops in. If you want, you could place it lower. Sometimes I'll leave some space in here, and the space will either, sometimes it helps me to be oriented when I've got to get my hand to a certain spot, or sometimes I might make the range of this only an octave. Let's say that this is an F right now, that's F2. Let's say that I'm only going to play this in one octave. I might do the F below it. Right, see, so now that's the octave where I'm going to play this thing. This just helps visually. When you're doing a lot of patch changes and your hands are moving around a lot, you want as much information as possible so you don't have to remember what you're doing. I'm going to tap the A on the very bottom of the keyboard now. There we go. Just so you can guys visually see that. So I'm going to uncheck the red Learn button. Okay, now I'm going to go back here and hit Command S to save those changes. And that's basically it. I mean, I could show you more examples, but that's how you do it. So we're at 24 minutes. I'm Andrew Collier from ColyerMusic.com. Thank you so much for watching this MainStage 3 tutorial. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. Please make sure you check out our other tutorials here on this channel. Check out some of my music, Circular Line, Cell 15, Awaken, and Frank White and Friends, and there's more to come. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.